Hey guys, tonight, we're climbing into a dream you never quite wake up from. You're not in your bed. Not yet. You're strapped to a window seat, watching the clouds bruise purple as the sky drips into dusk. You smell that recycled cabin air, and you hear the soft ding that means the seatbelt light just went off. Except it didn't. There's no sound. Everyone around you is perfectly still. The man next to you has a book open mid-turn. His hand hasn't moved. A flight attendant is frozen in the aisle, smiling wide, but her eyelids don't blink. Her pupils aren't right. You shift in your seat. You try to breathe, but the air's wrong. You press the call button. Nothing. You glance out the window. You see another version of the plane, flying alongside, identical, every detail the same. And in its window seat across from you, you see yourself, staring back. No emotion, just watching. This isn't turbulence. This is something else. You probably won't survive this. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And don't forget to comment where you're watching from and what time it is where you are. I love seeing the global bedtime roll call. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. The dream starts the same on every night. You're always in seat 11A. The plane is always full. The flight is always smooth, until it isn't. At 11:57 p.m. Without warning, the sky outside cracks. Not thunder, not lightning, a literal fracture. Like glass. Like reality's starting to peel. And the version of you in the other plane, it's smiling now. Just before your window fills with static and fire, you jolt awake, or at least you think you do. It's dark. Your bed feels real. Your room looks the same. But your body, it's covered in cold sweat, and your lungs ache like they've been squeezing through pressure changes all night. You grab your phone, no notifications, no missed calls, just the time 12:01 a.m. Exactly 4 minutes after the sky cracked, you sit up, stare at the window. Outside, the night is still, but the clouds aren't moving right. They churn in place like they're waiting for something. And just for a second, only one, you see a flicker of yourself reflected in the glass. Not your reflection, yourself, sitting in seat 11A, staring back at you. You scramble to the mirror across the room. You look normal. Messy hair, pale face, sleep-puffed eyes. But in the mirror behind you, there's a faint outline of airplane seats. Rows. Shadows, and then the sound of engines, roaring not from outside but from beneath your apartment floor. You drop to your knees, press your palm to the wood. It vibrates, just barely. Your heart skips. You live alone. You're not near an airport. And yet, the engine hum deepens, turns low, almost like a growl, or a warning. You stand and grab your phone again. Search seat 11A. Nothing helpful. Then you try plane crash dream, and that's when the results shift. Reddit threads, conspiracy posts, archived forums. You see phrases that chill your spine. The dream starts a day in at 11:57. Don't speak to the other you. If you survive 3 nights, you'll never wake up. You blink. On your screen in the top right corner, a banner ad loads. Plain white background. Black text. Your seat has been confirmed 11A. You don't click it. You already know what it means. You don't go back to bed. Instead, you sit at the kitchen table with all the lights on, watching the second hand on your wall clock tick past the safe zone. 17, 12, 24, 103. Every creak in the pipes feels like it's calling your name. But the worst part, you can't remember falling asleep. You're just there again, in the seat. Same plane, same damp leather under your thighs. Same humming lights overhead, just a little too dim. Same low murmur of a cabin that doesn't feel alive. This time you don't fight it. You look around. You're not alone. In front of you, a woman with graying hair is knitting something that looks like a shroud. She doesn't blink. Across the aisle, a child holds a balloon red wrinkled, but not latex. It pulses slightly. You glance up at the flight attendant call button, but it's already lit. You didn't press it. The seatbelt light dings on. A voice crackles from the intercom. Passengers, we ask that you remain calm. We'll be descending soon. You check the window. There's no sky, just fog, like dense milk. And shapes swimming slowly through it, long gliding boneless things that blink sideways when they pass. Your seatbelt tightens. You try to undo it. Nothing happens. It holds fast, cinching tighter like it's alive. Then you hear it again. Your name, from the seat beside you. You turn. It's you, slumped like you're asleep. Same clothes, same hands. But your double's skin has a tint like meat kept just a little too long in the freezer. You lean in, its eyes open, and say your name again, without its mouth moving. Just a thought dropped into your skull, like a pebble in deep water. You didn't wake up. Then everything goes black, and you're back in bed, except this time you're not in your room. The walls curve slightly. The ceiling is low. The hum of the plane is now a constant presence behind your ears. Your sheets are seatbelt straps. You check your phone. Lever. You check your phone again. 11:57. The time hasn't changed. You blink hard, slap your cheek, rub your eyes raw. But it stays. The digits burn like a brand into your vision even when you look away. You're not even sure you're holding a phone anymore. It's cold, heavy, and slightly pulsing in your palm, like something breathing. The bed, if that's what this is, rocks slightly. You reach for the edge. It curves. The floor isn't carpeted. It's ribbed metallic, grooved like a fuselage underfoot. You stand hesitantly. The walls close in slightly with your movement, not physically, but with weight. Pressure. Like the room is breathing too, and it knows you're awake. There's a sound outside the room. A dragging sound. Bare feet or maybe cloth scraping metal. You try the door. It's not a door. It's an overhead compartment. The kind with those flimsy plastic latches you've seen 100 times on flights. Only this one has your name scratched into it. Over and over. In different handwriting. Some barely legible. Some pristine. You hesitate, then unlatch it. Inside, a black box recorder. You know what it is instantly, though. You've never seen one up close. It hums with a red light, blinking in sync with your heartbeat. You reach out, and your fingers pass through it like smoke. Just as the sound behind you stops, you turn. The hallway beyond is wrong. It stretches down infinitely ribbed and narrow, like the interior of a plane no architect ever designed. Oxygen masks dangle like dead flowers from overhead compartments that don't open. The lights are flickering now, strobing in a way that makes every blink feel like missing a second of time. And at the far end, someone stands. barefoot, slightly swaying. They raise a hand and wave, but it's backwards, palm in fingers, crooked the wrong way. Like a reflection trying to mimic something it doesn't fully understand. You step back, the floor dips. Then you hear it again, your name. Gasped like it's being forced through a throat full of water. Time's up. You fall, back into the seat. Same plane, same moment. Same you still sitting across the aisle, smiling this time. It leans in. Crash hasn't happened yet, it says. But we're getting close. You jolt awake, or so you think, because now the lights are warm amber. The hum of engines is gone. In its place, an impossible silence, like you're sealed inside cotton. The kind of stillness that happens in dreams, just before something shatters. You're still on the plane. Sort of. The windows are gone. Not dark, not closed. Gone, where there should be clouds. Stars sky there is nothing. Not black. Not absence. Something worse. A kind of blankness that erases your thoughts if you stare too long. You blink quickly, afraid of what might replace your reflection if you look again. The seats around you are occupied now. Not by passengers, not exactly. Each figure is dressed like someone you remember, or maybe almost remember. A girl from your childhood 4 rows ahead. A teacher who died in a car crash when you were in middle school, aisle seat 3 over. Your grandfather. Not as you last saw him, but as he looked in an old photo no one else in the family remembered taking. Their heads are down. Asleep, you think, until one of them looks up, and it's your face. Not the same expression, not even the same age, but you. A version of you that looks tired in ways sleep wouldn't fix. Hair slightly thinner. Teeth gritted. They don't blink. They only mouth one word. Brace. A chime dings overhead. That same too cheerful ding airlines use right before they explain turbulence is nothing to worry about. Only now the intercom crackles alive, and it's your voice. But it's not speaking English. The language is something guttural, low-filled with static and tongue clicks, like it's being remembered more than spoken. You instinctively cover your ears, but the voice doesn't stop. It comes from inside your head now, behind your eyes, burrowing in. Flight 1137 was never meant to land, it says. Not here. You try to stand. Can't. Your legs are submerged. In the floor. Or no, the floor is becoming you. Your legs are disappearing beneath the vinyl flesh, dissolving into seat foam nerves, threading into circuitry you shouldn't be able to feel. The more you panic, the more you fuse. Until the seatbelt tightens around your chest. Not as fabric, but as ribs. Someone walks by. You glance up. It's the flight attendant from your first real vacation, only she's walking upside down. Her head tilted just a little too far to one side, the smile unchanging. She whispers, "We never left," and opens the emergency exit. There's no suction, no air, just a hallway lined with mirrors, each one showing you. All of yous. All the ones who woke up too late. And in every reflection, a crash happening in reverse. You screaming backward. The glass shatters, and the plane begins to fall. Not down, inward. You fall, but there's no wind. No rising nausea. No stomach in your throat. Just the sensation of sinking into velvet. It would almost be peaceful, if not for the creaking. A groan of old steel groaning like something remembering its own death. The walls of the cabin ripple as if the metal has become soft like skin, trying not to split open. You're still strapped in, but the seat is now facing the aisle, and everyone else is gone. Except the version of you. It sits opposite one row down, head tilted, watching. Its mouth moves. No sound. Just the movement, slow and deliberate. Why did you wake up? You try to answer, but your jaw won't move. It's not frozen. It's missing. A mirror hangs just above the beverage cart, cracked and flickering like an old screen. In the reflection, you have no mouth, no eyes, just a blur where features should be. A smooth canvas. You think of those dream logic moments, like when you forget how walking works. This is worse, because the plane isn't flying anymore. It's docked, somewhere underground. Lights flicker to life. Cold fluorescent tubes humming from above, lighting a place that looks like a maintenance hangar. If hangars were made of stone, with runes instead of wires, and wet footprints leading away from every emergency exit. The air smells like ozone, like burnt copper and something older. You unbuckle. The buckle screams. Not the metal, the sound is alive, like it didn't want to let go. Still you stand, and the gravity changes, not downward, but toward the cockpit, drawn like a compass needle, no other choice. You walk. Slowly, shoes echo on the wet floor that used to be carpet. Each step leaves behind a darker mark than the last. Not water, not blood. Ink. You're bleeding ink now. The plane door is open ahead, framing the cockpit. Only, the instruments inside don't belong to this century. Livers carved from bone, dials made of clock faces, each showing different eras. Some in Roman numerals, others in systems you don't recognize. One spins wildly, another ticks backward. The pilot's seat is occupied, but not by a person. It's a shape. You think at first it's hunched forward. A cloak maybe, but as you get closer, you realize it's not hunched, it's unfinished. Like someone started sculpting a figure and stopped halfway. The air buzzes around it, not with sound, but with wrongness. Then it speaks. In your voice, a perfect match. Down to the lazy lilt you hate hearing in recordings. You're late, it says. Yes. Take your seat. You're nisko. Not from fear, from gravity. Like you're being reassigned, as if whatever was meant to fly this place out needs a new operator. And it chose you. Somewhere impossibly far behind a boarding call echoes. But you never hear your name, only your voice, calling someone else. You're not sure how long you've been standing in the doorway. Time has stopped behaving. The cockpit flickers again just once, and when the lights return, you're already seated. You don't remember walking. You don't remember sitting. You only know your hands are gripping something cold, and your reflection in the black glass window is delayed, a full second behind. The seat belts wind across your chest on their own, tightening too much, pressing into your ribs like fingers. The unfinished thing in the pilot's chair has disappeared, but its impression remains like a warm seat in a cold room. You know it's still here, just not in a shape your mind can handle right now. Your hand moves, not because you told it to, but because it remembers something. It reaches forward and flips a switch labeled replay. A humming sound begins. Deep old, not electric, mechanical, organic, and the windshield becomes a screen. At first it shows static, then a view. From above, you're looking down at a jungle clearing. It's the wreckage of your flight. Twisted metal shredded wings, smoke rising in slow columns from the crushed tail. You lean closer, bodies scattered like dolls. There's a rescue crew now crawling across the wreckage like ants. Stretchers, tarps, cameras. You recognize your shirt before you recognize your own body. You are still there, face down, crushed under your seat. One leg severed at the knee. You look down at your current leg. It's there, but when you poke it, really poke it, ripples like oil on water. No feeling. A shiver starts deep in your spine. The footage rewinds itself, fast, violent. The plane reassembles in reverse, smoke, stuffing itself back into engine's wings, stretching out like broken arms, healing in a snap. And then it pauses, at boarding. You're walking down the jet bridge. But in this version, you never look up. Your head stays bowed. The rest of the passengers blur, indistinct, featureless, except one. One face turns to the camera. You, grinning, too wide, and mouthing something. You whisper along with it as the image loops again. You weren't supposed to survive. The cockpit begins to tremble. The levers pulse. Somewhere in the dark, overhead compartments begin to bang open and shut on their own. A low thunk repeats, rhythmically, like footsteps on a metal roof, crawling toward you, from above, from below, from the part of the plane that doesn't exist on any diagram. The lights die, and when they return, someone is sitting beside you in the co-pilot's chair. You can't look at their face, but you know it's you again. And this version is holding a boarding pass. Your name, your seat number, but the flight listed isn't the one you took. It's the next one, and it's already departed. You stare at the boarding pass in your double's hand. It's damp, crinkled like something pulled out of a pocket long after the rain. Your name is there, your seat number, but the departure date is today. The time, exactly 1 minute from now. Your double doesn't look up. It only speaks once, and its voice is so close to your own it makes your stomach twist. You miss the first crash. This one's for you. Then it vanishes, not in a puff of smoke, not with a scream, just gone. Like someone blinked and forgot to render that part of reality. The chair is empty again. You try to stand, but the seatbelt is locked. The lights outside the cockpit flicker. No, not flicker, flash. They spell something in Morse code across the hallway walls. You don't know Morse code, but your bones do. The message burns itself behind your eyelids. You've already boarded. The cockpit door behind you won't open. But something is knocking from the other side now. Not fast, not aggressive, polite, rhythmic, like someone tapping out a pattern that's been rehearsed for years. Tap, 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 pause. Tap, 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 tap. You whisper into the dark, who's there? The knock repeats, only now it's on the window. You look even though you know you shouldn't. A face floats in the blackness beyond. Pale, pressed against the glass nose, flattened like a child's against a toy store window. But the eyes, they're yours, and they blink out of sync, mouths open, mouths plural, and you hear it again, like it's on an intercom that spans every memory you've ever had. You survived the crash. But did you ever leave the plane? Your seat drops. The entire cockpit drops. The illusion shatters like a cheap film set being yanked away. Rope seams, stage wires flailing. You're not in a cockpit anymore. You're in a replica, a dream of it. You're lying in your own bed, but the oxygen mask is still on your face, and your sheets are twisted like seatbelts. You pull the mask off, gasping, and your room exhales with you like it's been holding its breath. The window is shut. The lights are normal. Everything is calm until you look at your desk. They're neatly placed where your laptop used to be is the black box recorder. Red light blinking. Just once, then it stops. You approach it slowly, heart in your throat. When you press play, it doesn't hum. It whispers. A woman's voice, one you don't know but somehow trust. The crash was real. You didn't walk away. You were carried. The voice clicks off, and you see it now. The newspaper clipping fluttering in the corner of your desk. Your flight. Your number. Survivors none listed. You read it again. The clipping is brittle. Old. But the ink hasn't faded. The article is short. Unfeeling, like it was written by someone who didn't want to believe it happened. It reports a small passenger plane en route from Delhi to Srinagar. Went off radar during approach. Wreckage recovered days later in the mountains. Weather was blamed. No survivors. And there your name, not in the body of the article, not as a survivor, in the list of the dead. You blink. Your hands shake as you flip the clipping over, searching for any sign it's fake. Part of some elaborate prank. Something to make sense of what's happening. But there's nothing. No glue. No printed watermark. Just yellowing paper that smells like ashes and cabin fuel. You toss it aside. But it lands face up again. Headline bold. Like it wants to be read. You push back from the desk, stumble toward the door, but your feet don't move naturally. The floor feels uneven, like a tilted aisle. A soft hum begins somewhere beneath you, deep as an engine warming up under your bed. Your phone buzzes on the nightstand. Unknown number. You let it ring. It rings again, and again. The screen flashes a name. Yours. In all caps. No number attached. Just your name. You swipe to silence it, and suddenly it's morning. Sunlight spills across your floor, warm and too bright. Your bed is dry. No mask, no black box. The newspaper clipping is gone. You check your phone. No missed calls. No voicemails. No signs of last night, except for the faint smell of ozone and pressurized air in your sheets. You laugh shaky, uncertain. Maybe it was a dream. A hyper-real stress response. The kind they warn people about after trauma. You go to brush your teeth, and when you glance into the mirror, something sticks in your vision. You lean in. Just above your left shoulder, etched so lightly into the corner of the mirror's frame, is a set of numbers. 11:57, that same time. Carved like a warning. You rub at it. It doesn't smudge. Later at work, you try to ignore it. You tell yourself not to Google the flight again, not to check the passenger list. But you do, and the list has changed. Your name's been removed from the dead, but it hasn't been added to the survivors. It's just gone, as though you never existed. That night, your phone buzzes again. The caller ID, a number that doesn't belong to any country code. It rings once, then stops. No voicemail. Just silence. But you swear you can still hear that woman's voice from the black box, soft and low, like she's speaking just behind your eardrum. You were carried out. But you weren't brought back. You try to forget. You really do. You delete the black box recording. Toss the old headphones. You even unplug your Wi-Fi for a few days and sleep with the phone turned off, face down, sealed in a drawer like it's radioactive. But some things don't need power to reach you. That night, your dreams shift again. This time, you're not in the crash. You're in the airport. Only it's wrong. Every gate is numbered. 11:57. Every screen flickers between cities that don't exist. Nell City. 13th Anchorage. Crestfall East. There are no announcements, No crowds. Just that slow hum of fluorescent lights and the soft drag of something moving beyond your line of sight. You wander toward a window. Outside, there's no runway, just a dense gray mist, swirling like something alive, pressing against the glass, like breath on cold skin. There's a plane parked at the gate. Its livery is unfamiliar, matte black, no airline name. The door is open, the stairs waiting. Someone behind you whispers, "It boards at midnight." You turn. It's the same woman. The one from the recording, but she's not blurry this time. Her flight attendant uniform is pristine, yet old 1960s era, with brass buttons and a teal hat. She's holding a clipboard with your name already checked off. You ask her, "Where does it go?" She smiles, but the corners of her mouth don't move. Home. You wake in your bed, breath caught halfway down your throat. Your heart pounds, but slowly, too slowly, as if it's matching some artificial rhythm. You press a hand to your chest just to be sure. Something knocks once sharply on your bedroom window, but you live on the 8th floor. You freeze. Wait, nothing else happens. In the morning, you check the weather. Fog, heavy, low-lying, delays at the airport. Out of curiosity, you look up the name you thought you saw on the uniform badge, Darla Kirsch. There's no record. No current or former flight staff by that name, except one hit. A local newspaper archive. Flight attendant, among victims in 1974 northern crash. The photos in black and white. Grainy. But it's her. Holding a clipboard. You close the tab. Try to breathe. That night, you fall asleep fully clothed with every light on. And still the dream comes. This time you're already seated on the plane. The other passengers are motionless, their heads all turned slightly to the window. Outside, there's nothing. No sky. No ground. Just that endless circling fog. You reach for the call button. It's gone. And when you turn toward the aisle, the woman's already there. "Final boarding," she says, and her eyes flicker like static. "We've been waiting for you." You jolt awake, but it doesn't feel like waking. Your body is upright. Seatbelt fastened, tray table stowed. The window beside you hums faintly. Fog presses against the glass. Not misty like weather, but viscous, like breath on a mirror. And the plane isn't moving. No engine noise, no vibration, just waiting. You try to stand. The belt doesn't budge. You glance down. The buckle is fused. No mechanism. It's like the whole seat was built around you. The other passengers, they're all facing forward, but their skin has that too smooth mannequin sheen. One man blinks slowly. Another woman's eyes are open, but unmoving like glass. Across the aisle, the seat is empty. You almost sigh with relief until a slow ripple moves through the cushion, as if something just left it, or is about to return. The intercom crackles, not with words, just with a hiss. Then a familiar voice distorted, as if broadcast through thick water rasps. One phrase, "Don't get off." You turn toward the aisle. Darla is there again. No clipboard, no smile. She doesn't walk toward you. She just is suddenly closer. Then again, closer still. Her pupils are too large, consuming. Her teeth are slightly too many. "It's safer if you stay," she whispers. "We remember the ones who leave." You twist in your seat, reach for the window. Outside, a dark silhouette floats against the fog. Not another plane. Not ground. It's a door, black iron, suspended mid-air just a few meters from the wing. and something is knocking from the other side. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 more. Like code. You blink and the aisle is empty. Darla's gone. The other passengers now have their heads turned towards you. Every one, some with their mouths open slightly as if mid-sentence, others with blank eyes fixed squarely on your face. Then you hear the knock again. From under your seat, the plane creaks. Not from turbulence, but from something inside it stretching, settling. Like the structure is growing. You slam your eyes shut. When you open them, you're in your bed again. But this time you're not alone. There's condensation on the inside of your window. A single handprint. Too high for you to have made. You don't move for a full minute. Maybe more. Your breath is shallow, but loud in the stillness. Each inhale feels like a flare going up in the dark. You're staring at that handprint on the window. It's fresh. Too fresh. The edges are perfect. And it's not the size of your hand. It's smaller. Much smaller. Like a child's, but the fingers are too long. Wrong. You inch toward it, blanket still wrapped around your shoulders like armor. Outside, nothing moves. The street lamp is flickering the same way it always does. The neighbor's porch light across the road is on. The world looks normal. But you know, whatever left that mark wasn't outside the glass. You wipe it away with your sleeve. The condensation clears and now you see it. A face, reflected just behind your shoulder in the window. But when you spin around, there's no one. Just your apartment. Empty. Too quiet. And yet, the air smells like airplane cabin plastic again. Recycled air and metal. Your throat tastes like seatbelt. You flick on the hallway light. It doesn't work. You try the living room. Nothing. Your phone dead. Even the glow from your digital clock is gone. You're surrounded by silence wrapped in black. And then, the knock. That same rhythm. 3 soft taps. Pause. 3 more. But not from the window. From inside the hall closet. The one you never open anymore. Not since you moved back. You freeze. The closet door creaks, not open, but inward, like the woods being breathed through. Another knock. Faster this time. Urgent. You want to run. But something in you needs to know. Needs to be sure you're still awake. Still here. You reach for the handle. Slowly, slowly. And that's when the smell hits you. Burned plastic. Ozone. It's plain smell. You yank the door open. Inside only coats and dust. Except there's something tucked between the shoes. A folded airline ticket. From your trip. But it's dated tomorrow. Same seat. Same flight. Different passenger name. Your name, but not your handwriting. And underneath the date, a line scribbled in blue ink, almost too faint to see. Do not board. Do not let them land. Your chest tightens. What does that mean? You turn around and now the living room is lit again. Power back on. Phone buzzing. Clock blinking. Goody 3 a.m. You rush back to your bedroom, heart pounding, and find the window wiped clean. But now taped to the inside, it is a single boarding pass. Still warm, and it has your name. You don't remember printing the ticket. You don't remember booking anything. But here it is real in your hands. Still smells faintly of toner and warm plastic. The airline logo is identical to the one from your flight. The gate number is the same. The seat, same row, same side. The departure time, tomorrow, 3 a.m. You stare at the bottom corner. There's something off about the ink, like it was written over something else, maybe even etched in with pressure. You tilt the paper into the light. Faint indentations reveal themselves, scrawled into the fibers beneath the print. Don't let them land. They can't land twice. Your knees. The message in the closet said the same thing. What do they mean? You stumble backward, instinct pushing you to the kitchen light. Groundedness, anything ordinary. But your fingers brush the fridge handle and stop. There's a sound coming from it. Soft. Wet. Like breathing, but watery. You pull the door open, and the light inside is blue. Airplane cabin blue. Rows of tiny plastic meals stacked between the butter and juice cartons. A paper cup sits beside your orange juice, branded with the airline logo. It's filled with something viscous and dark. As you lean closer, it ripples, and for just a second you swear you see a reflection in it. Not your face, someone else's. Someone with your eyes, but older. Worn. Desperate. You slam the fridge shut. You're done. You leave the apartment. Shoes untied. Jacket half on. You walk 3 blocks before stopping under a streetlight just to feel the glow of something real. Your phone buzzes. No name. Just a number. You ignore it. It rings again. And again. You finally pick up. No words. Just the sound of a jet engine roaring in your ear. Then silence. Your screen goes black. Dead again. You look around and suddenly you're not where you were. Not on the street. You're at the airport, but it's empty. Not quiet dead. Fluorescent lights hum. Departure screens flicker static. No announcements. No people. Just a single gate open at the far end. Your gate. You don't remember getting here, but your feet are moving toward it. Each step echoes like you're the only person in the terminal. And sitting by the gate window is you, slumped, pale, eyes open, but unfocused, holding a boarding pass in one hand and in the other a tiny airline cup. You want to turn and run, but the speaker above crackles to life. Final boarding call. Flight 333. All passengers report immediately. Section 14. You don't remember agreeing to this. You don't remember walking closer, but your hand is on the gate door now. It opens at your touch. No attendant. No beep. Just a soft hiss, like air escaping from somewhere deep underground. The tunnel is long. Too long. The carpet is dark. The lights above flicker in triplets. Your footsteps make no sound. Ahead, the plane waits, nose barely visible through the window. But the jetway doesn't connect cleanly. There's a gap between it and the plane's door, just enough to see the night air between swirling like fog. But darker, thicker. You step forward, and a low groan echoes from inside the aircraft. It sounds like the cabin is breathing. As you pass through the threshold, the familiar scent hits you. Burned plastic, coffee long gone cold. That strange recycled air. You turn to look at the seats. They're full, but no one is moving. Every row is occupied by someone wearing your face. Different ages, different clothes. Some older, some younger, some asleep, some staring straight ahead. All you, some wear airline blankets. Some are holding phones that buzz endlessly. One has their eyes gouged out and filled with boarding stubs. And when you try to move backward, you in seat 12A turns and locks eyes with you. Sit, he says. His voice is but it's frayed, water-damaged. You shake your head. No, this isn't real. Seat 12A smiles. We said that last time too. You run for the exit, but it's gone. No door, no jetway, only rows. Endless rows. The cabin lights flicker. The pilot's voice speaks over the intercom. Cabin secure. Preparing for descent. The plane lurches downward, but you haven't taken off. You grip a seat back, but your hand sinks into it like flesh. The fabric pulses. The walls of the cabin begin to ripple like water, and the passengers, one by one, they begin to melt. Faces drooping. Skin sliding off like wax. Only the eyes remain intact, wide wet and staring at you. The cabin tilts. Your body presses into the aisle. You scream, but it's silent. Your voice doesn't work here. Then above you, the oxygen masks drop. But instead of masks, there are nozzles. And from each a whisper, your name, over and over like a chant. You boarded. You shouldn't have. You boarded. The lights go out. The plane goes dark. And then, impact. But not a crash. A landing. You blink. You're seated. Tray down. Cup of water in front of you. And a flight attendant leaning in, smiling polite. "We've arrived?" she says sweetly. You may disembark. You turn to the window. Outside, not a terminal. Not tarmac. Just a vast empty runway stretching into the dark. Fog crawling low. And far in the distance, a single figure walking away. They're barefoot. And they're holding a ticket. You stand. So do all the others. All versions of you. The attendant watches. She's not blinking. She doesn't have eyes. Just smooth skin stretched where they should be. You follow the line of yourself. Out the cabin. Down the steps. Onto the runway. And the sky above. It's midnight. And the stars. They're in the wrong places. You walk. There's no other direction. The fog curls at your ankles like it knows your name. The cold doesn't bite, it presses, not air exactly, not heat, something in between. You try to glance back at the plane. It's gone. No cabin, no stairs, no sound. Just runway stretching into silence. You're not alone. You see figures up ahead, more of you. All walking in a line. Some wear suits, others pajamas. One has a cast on their arm. One holds a teddy bear. All different versions scattered from different timelines, maybe different crashes. All heading the same way. And at the front of the line is the man from your dreams. Or maybe he's never been in them, but you recognize him all the same. Charcoal coat, no face. Only a dark blur where features should be. Like a smear on wet glass. He raises a hand. The rest of the line steps off, except you. You keep walking, and as you do, your own face begins to blur. You feel it like static peeling off your skin. You try to remember your name, but it slips sideways, folding into itself like paper sinking into water. The man nods. You reach him. His coat splits open, not a jacket, but a door behind it. Darkness, and stars, and rows of seats. Another plane, another journey. Why you whisper? He doesn't answer, because he doesn't need to. This has happened before. It will happen again. And as you step into the coat, the door closes behind you with a whisper, like pages turning. You're seated again. Tray table down. Seatbelt buckled, oxygen mask above, and your reflection in the window. It smiles. The plane rumbles, the lights dim, and somewhere behind you, perhaps 10 rows back, or maybe 20, you hear something new. A baby crying. Then 2, then more. Their voices build, not painful, just wrong, like a sound played backwards, like grief folded into the shape of laughter. And then silence, not peaceful, but final. You close your eyes. You're not afraid now. You've flown this route before. You just forgot, until now. Wind down 300 words, and now at that final moment drift. Let it settle behind your eyes, like clouds around a wing, soft and full of distance. The cabin is quiet now. There's no more sound, but you're breathing calm and steady. The fog, the sky, The gate without a number, all of it fades like a dream you never meant to remember. Like a whisper that never belonged to you. You don't need to go back. You don't need to make sense of it. That's the gift of sleep, really. It's soft, forgiving blur. It takes the edges off of memory. It sands down fear until it's smooth enough to float. So if your mind is still turning, still trying to solve the puzzle, you can stop. Let it be strange. Let it be unfinished. You're safe now. Your room is quiet. The hum of the night is gentle. And the only thing waiting in the dark is the calm of the next breath. So curl in, loosen your grip, and drift. Because the next place you go isn't in the story anymore. It's yours, and it's waiting. Good night.